Every time you sleep at night, do you ever get dreams? Or, in fact, do you get nightmares instead? Well, I've had a lot of dreams in my life, and nightmares too. So, I have a nightmare I want to tell you. I was at a Chinese restaurant with my parents, my older sister, and my foster brother. It was in Gladstone, and I was eager to eat something. My parents went to choose out some food in the court, while my older sister did too, then my foster brother. When it was my turn, I got up from my chair and went to grab some honey chicken and a smay pork and more chicken. I'm a huge buffet guy too, Rowan, so this is totally up my alley. I once had a pancake with a sirloin steak on top, actually 7 different meats. So, buffet gang for life. I got some salad with it, so that way it'll make me healthy. As you are 20 years old, I'm 18, so we gotta be healthy too. I enjoyed our Chinese buffet and the food was delicious. We got home this afternoon and I was feeling pretty full from our dinner. That night, I went to sleep with my Sully and Mike Plus from Monsters Inc., since they were quite soft, and I began dreaming. In my dream, I woke up on a Chinese restaurant table, and it was 10 a.m. I became confused how I got there. At that moment, various people entered the restaurant, but they didn't notice me. When I went to escape, a random elderly man in a white shirt with a red undershirt and sunglasses appeared in front of me. Two twins then appeared on opposite sides, each one in a red flannel jacket and tattoos, and another in fully black clothing. Finally, a random Asian woman walked in with a lollipop. I was already confused. Why are you crowding me? I asked in confusion and fear. Where is the girl? My daughter has already seen you with our blog, the man said. What are you talking about? Don't know this girl. The lollipop girl suddenly pointed her gun at me. Stupid boy! I already saw how you die. Oh man, my mascara is totally running. What? I exclaimed in shock. She pulled the trigger with clear intent to shoot me, but to muster up courage, I smacked the gun out of her hand. And then I pushed one of the twin boys and the father into a stack of water-filled fish tanks. I gotta get out of here, I whimpered, and then dashed off to escape the restaurant. The twin brother in black clothing then whipped off his sunglasses and started screaming as his eyes turned snake-like. His screams shattered various fragile objects in the restaurant while I made a run for it. A lot of fish tanks and lights were shattered. Heck, some of the tanks had fish in them. RIP to the fish, let's get an F in the chat for the fish. I grabbed some butcher's knives and threw them at him before he looked at them in confusion. I almost bumped into the other twin in the red flare jacket before I ran off again, and he screamed like his brother. He shattered more fragile objects around the place with his screams. The lollipop chick then noticed me heading for the exit, and I was near an incredible large fish tank. Like the big tanks. Go! My mascara's still running, she said to the twins. The twins then held hands and pulled their glasses off and looked at the giant fish tank and started screaming at the same time. The tank started shattering, causing a large wave of water to crash on me. I tumbled on the water before I landed in what appeared to be a kitchen. What's happening? I asked in fear. I then made out 3 pairs of feet approaching me solemnly, which turned out to be the Asian family. The brother in the black clothing then whipped his glasses off again and looked directly at me and started screaming, God, stop! Make it stop! I shouted, covering my ears. The lollipop chick then came walking by, watching me being tortured by the trio of fathers and 2 sons. My ears began burning, and the blood vessels in my ears began tearing. Stop screaming! Stop! What did I do to you? My ears were finally bleeding as heck. The other brother joined in, making the chorus louder. Make it stop! Stop! I shouted even more. Just then, the father then joined with the brothers. It was heck for me. Just complete, utter heck. The brother, wearing black clothing, had the most intimidating scream on the face of the bunch. Stop! Stop! I don't want to die. This isn't how I die. Yeah. My ears were ringing, and blood came leaking out of them. My nose even started bleeding, possibly because of vessels bursting in them. I even felt bloody tears coming out of my eyes. I was about to die. My vision began blurring, which meant that I was going to die. No, no, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't. I sobbed. I then fainted. The father and two sons stopped screaming once I already blacked out. I woke up, gasping for air. The whole ordeal was literally a nightmare. What I saw in my nightmare was awfully familiar. It was based off of that one scene from a 2009 film Puss, where the protagonist, Nick Grant, got attacked by bleeders. So apparently in my nightmare, I was attacked by bleeders. I held on to my Mike and Sully Plus for comfort. I then buried my face into the palm of my hands. I decided that morning I could watch Monsters Inc. to make myself happy. We still need Monster Inc. too. I made some food for myself for breakfast and put my Monsters Inc. DVD in to get my mind off of Puss. That way, it will make me feel better. You know how sensitive I am to movies like those, because they usually depend on how dark I see them as. If there's ever a non horror movie antagonist that you're afraid of or highly sensitive to, you can feel free to share your story with me.